episode, we have Mrs. Sehgal with us, who is a Vice President of Rajasthali Resort. So, hello, sir. How are you?
Very well, Nandini. How are you?
I'm good. So, sir, since we are recording this podcast with you, and it's been an years that you're working in hospitality industry, so I want to know what's your life before working in the hospitality industry.
Well, life before this was school, and you usually qualify in this. Join the industry after your class 12th. There's a qualifying exam. You go to an IHM or a hotel school. It's a professional setup. So I am from Dehradun. I went to St. Joseph's for my schooling. Completed my schooling from a science background. Dad was a scientist. Always wanted me to be in the IIT, but I thought this was a little more exciting. I've always been admired by buildings, well kept buildings, and that's what drew me towards its side.
So, sir, like as your dad was from the scientist background, he is from the very serious background. So, what give you up kicks to join this industry?
Okay, frankly, I didn't qualify the IIT, and I didn't want to waste a year. Here, I had a rank of about 1,000 all over India, and I thought maybe this is something special, and uh, maybe I would be able to put my aptitude to test here, and that's what made me join the IHM.
So, what's travel and tourism industry looks like back in those days, like in 2000? So, how it looks?
So back in the 2000, there were not many hotels. Back in the 2000, experiential hotels were very less. Lifestyle business has always been there, was always booming, but it wasn't what it looks like now. There's tremendous growth in the last 20 years. This was a more seriously taken business. It was more for the affluent. I think hospitality or hotels has become a little more affordable now. And back there, it was more special. It was a little more choice driven. But I think it was more of culinary expertise that used to drive the hotel business. These days, there are a lot of these cafes, and you've got fusion cuisines which are there. You can just at home Swiggy everything. Back then, people had to go out, take a reservation, sit down like a Britisher, wait for the food to come. Now it's become a little more informal. I think back then it was a lot more formal than what it is now.
So, like, what do you prefer, the informal way or the formal way? Because usually, I guess people come in the hotel, in the palace, sometimes for the leisure and the vacation, and sometimes to feel like they are a Britishers.
Well, Nandini, see, hospitality is always being formal. You've got to be elegant yet formal. The moment you try and keep a flat approach towards your guest, it probably just fizzles out. So, जैसे एक saying होती है अतिथि देवो भव, जब तक आप अतिथि को वो स्थान ना दें, उस काम में मज़ा नहीं आता. Or maybe people will now call me a little old school with that, but that's what we've been taught, and that's what I hold very close to my heart. As long as you treat your guest like God, there will be that formal approach that you'll always have with your guest, and there are chances that he's also going to appreciate it. And frankly, once he's stepping into a hotel for a lifestyle, he's paying money, he should get that little bit of pampering that he expects.
So, I want to know, like, back in those days, since you have started working in 2000, so at that time, does people and family prefer a vacation, or this started after 2005?
Well, hotels have been there before I joined the industry. I think vacations were always an exciting part of our life. I would also look forward for family vacations and things. But this new concept of staycations and children wanting to go on vacations has just emerged, where especially the staycation packages that hotels say, which are shorter durations but escapes from your household, and I think it's more exciting. Our kids want to go on little breaks. We try and take out these little breaks. It gives you it gives you a break. It lets you spend time with family. I think so. Back then, even if people were on vacations, they would never talk about vacations. But I think past about 2007, 8 or 9, people have become a lot vocal about their vacations. People want to share experiences. People want to talk about that excitement. There's a lot of word of mouth that people follow. For example, somebody would come to me and say, okay, did you go to Missouri? There's a new hotel opening in Missouri and it's got a big activity center for kids. We as parents would also feel, oh yes, let's go and maybe take our kids out and things like that. So I think the connect between people has grown, especially with the digitized world, with the mobile phones coming in and the WhatsApps coming in. There's a lot of photos that people share. There's a lot of media that goes from here to there, and that's what intrigues people to move out of their houses and experience the thing.
सो आई वांट टू नो लाइक जैसे बहुत सारे लोग अभी वेकेशन पे वोकल हुए जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया सो इज दैट ट्रू दैट जो सोशल मीडिया की वजह से पीपल स्टार्टेड अबाउट वेकेशन और दे जस्ट थॉट कि नाउ वी आर एज वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग लॉट ऑफ मनी इन वेकेशन वी आर एंजॉइंग इसीलिए वो लोग बात करना चालू करें.
आई फील दोनों चीज़ें हैं. पहले लोगों ने बात नहीं करी कभी वेकेशंस के बारे में, फिर लोगों ने जब बात करना शुरू किया तो दूसरों को पता लगा कि हाँ, they've had so much fun, why don't I take my family out, or why don't I go out with my friends. फिर जब मीडिया इन्वॉल्व हुआ तो पता लगा होटल्स कैसे दिखते हैं, या स्टेज कैसे दिखते हैं, या एरियाज कैसे दिखते हैं. Like sitting in this room, we can travel the whole world. We can probably just see, Google it, what is it that you should do when you're in London? What should I do when I'm in Dubai? So, which hotel is the best hotel? Then hotels also became need-based. किसी को स्विमिंग के लिए जाना है तो स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्सेस भी हैं होटल्स के अंदर, क्लब्स हैं, एक्टिविटी सेंटर्स हैं. किसी ने somebody likes to gamble, there are casinos in a hotel, and casinos to the tune of maybe 2,000 people under one roof, And I think that's what has grown this travel bubble in a way that, sitting here, I can find out what's happening in Vegas, today. We are towards the end of the year. We can find out what activities or what are the packages running for New Year's world over.
So, according to you, what is the new trend is coming in next 5 years in travel, or you can say hospitality industry?
Well, hospitality industry is evolving every minute, I would say. There's a lot of influx of people coming in for experiential stays. People are coming in for experiential cuisines, experiential drinks. There is so much fusion happening. I don't think I'll be the right person to really explain what's going to happen in the next 5 years, because time's really changing. There's suddenly an influx of weddings that are happening. Everybody wants to go for a little destination wedding. I remember back in our days when somebody would come to us and say, we want to make a wedding hotel, we would probably be shocked and look at each other and say, ye shaadi wala hotel kaun sa hota hai? But you'll be amazed that people are spending billions of dollars only making hotels which are designed for a proper wedding. There are places in the world where there are cities which have multiple hotels and they only do these weddings,
So, like after COVID, there are a lot of industries who takes time to restart their ventures, their whole business. So, do you think like since we heard a lot of news that COVID वापस आ रहा है, तो क्या hotel industry वापस से they will take a down graph, or they just find another way to flourish this industry for next 5 years?
I think hotel industry has really gone through a bad time with this COVID. What's happened is that we lost a lot of good manpower. People had to go back home. People come and work in industries from all sorts of backgrounds, whether it's hills, whether it's farms. They had to go back, spend time with families because of lockdowns and things. I don't think there should be a situation where a lockdown happens again. And God forbid, COVID would come back the way it came about a year back. I don't see a downturn there. I just see that more and more people will join the industry, more and more hotels will open, more and more experiential stays and things will happen. which should give a boom to the industry for the next 5-10 years.
So I want to know, like, since these lot of industries, I mean, the hotels industry is developing day by day, and there new trends are coming, and we have seen in India that there are a lot of big properties in the structure. So, since people are losing interest in 5 seconds, to do these big chains are find a way to make people more interesting, or the whole property will gonna in loss.
No, so there's a whole, and that's what our job is, to keep people entertained, to give people, continue keep giving people new things. There is a certain, every business has a certain classic. There are people who would continuously come to you for their likings. There is some things that you will do new and attract more people, and that's how the business grows.
So, how they actually calculate their profits, as there's a lot of investment required. So, they calculate yearly, or every 3 months they calculate.
Well, it depends. Some people, some hotels do it monthly. Some hotels do it biannually. Then there's a quarter review that you do. The idea is like a retail model, continuously see your deviations. Make a strategy to overcome these deviations or the shortfalls, and then keep moving ahead.
So, as a lot of people required in the hospitality industry, and a lot of human resources required. So, how it managed behind the screen, because a visitor don't know how this property is being managed. So, everything they want at the moment right now. So, how they manage the things.
So running a hotel is a very tough thing. It's like running a ship. For a hotel which is like ours, which is about 115 rooms, we've got about 280 people. Now these 280 people are all different people. They're all differently abled. They're specialized people. Some people at the kitchen department who look after production. There are people in the service department. There could be F&B service or your front office service. There could be guest relations. So there are various departments. There are about 17 departments that make up a good hotel.
Okay.
Right from accounts to security to IT, engineering. Engineering also has various divisions. There are technicians, there are plumbers, there are multi-technicians involved. So there's a whole gamut of people, and all of these are suited together under, say, an HR looks for these profiles. We interview these profiles. We look on how they've spent time in the industry. How will they be able to add value to our hotel? And that's how we hire them.
So, I want to know, since we are sitting in a Swan Mahal of Rajasthali, so what is their crowd pulling strategy? Because I am genuinely attracted by this palace.
Yeah, so this is a great place. Frankly, I've always been a believer that you've got to take care of the business that you have at hand. And the referral business that you produce out of that is what is going to give you additional business. So if you take care of your guests, that guest, like we were discussing, in a digitized way or in a personal way, lets more guests know that they do a fab job. And that's how you get more investors into your trust, and that's how you grow your business. But not Rajasthali, but any hotel brand has a lot of things that they do. So there are food promotions, there are drink promotions, there are happy hours that we do, there is a lot of entertainment that we do for our guests. There are packages that we make, like the staycation packages. We make it interesting by adding activities like yoga, there is archery, there are pool exercises, there's aqua zumba, there's musical nights, there are Rajasthani folk dances that we do. We give them a traditional welcome. These are certain things that intrigue guests and keep getting, that gets us more guests.
So, if we see the pie chart of Rajasthali, what do you sell more, wedding, staycation, or vacation?
I think weddings is definitely our forte. Combined with this, staycations is something that people really trust us with. We've got rooms with jacuzzis. We've got suites with jacuzzis. These are good for smaller family groups of 6 or 8 people. We do these personalized services with butlers. We do special nights with them with barbecues. That's what adds more this thing. Vacation is really slightly a little low because we're a little far away from the city. We get people who want to just spend time with themselves. So those are the kind of people who come and spend time with us.
So, like, wedding as an industry is a very huge part when it comes to hospitality. So, how Rajasthali looks when someone is, eyeing for a wedding of his or someone else from his family, and what are the major key aspects which Rajasthali provide or serve them to choose this as their first choice?
Okay, so here's where somebody like me comes into the play. I always see every wedding like a movie. Okay, there are things that give me a lot of excitement: lighting, decor, the food that you want to serve. How's the bride? Where is the bride going to stay? That's why at Rajasthali we've got suites which are named like a princess suite, a Maharaja suite,
Oh,
Maharani
wow.
suite. So this is where they stay. They are finished with choices of colors. You've seen Swarn Mahal here. Uh, what brings what really people trust us with is the way we deliver that kind of service. When you're traveling for a wedding, service probably may not be on your mind, but there's a lot of excitement on your mind. There's a lot of food on your mind. So we at Rajasthali believe that there should never be a dull moment, you know. So when you wake up for your breakfast, breakfast's are long. Before you finish your breakfast, you've got your mehndi or your event lined up. Your snacks are started. Before you finish that, there's a high tea which has started. Then there's dinner followed up after the high tea. Menus are longer. We do extensive long menus. We also do traditional Rajasthani lunches for our guests.
Okay.
So it keeps the guest one interacted, two involved. We believe in doing weddings with a lot of involvement.
So, what Rajasthali is actually targeting? The HNIs or a middle class family who want more and less?
Well, see, it will not be right for me to categorize families as HNIs or something, but yes, every hotel runs a concept. We run a concept. We sell a concept.
Okay.
We sell a dream. Lifestyle costs money, and there are people who can afford it, and there are people who probably would say that we are a little expensive for that kind of a dream. So we frankly don't really categorize our guests. For me, every guest is same. For me, all the guests should be treated equally. Uh, but yes, there are dates that we follow. So there are high dates which sell at a premium price, and then there are low dates which aren't really the Saya or the Sawa dates, which are a little economically priced.
So, like, what's your thought on those hotels who provide masses or they should provide the classes? Like, what's the parameter of, you can say, judging these two aspects of in a hotel industry?
You see, price points are the ones that define whether you'd want to get class, or would you want to get mass, or would you want to get certain style of HNIs. So frankly, a hotel, right at the design stage, is when you decide whether you want to run it like a business hotel, would you like to run it like a resort. And then there are multiple categories. Like a business hotel would also have affordable category. A resort could also be an affordable resort. But we are a 5-star super deluxe luxury hotel. And luxury, like I said before, lifestyle costs money.
So, what's your thought on emerging COVID cases? Like, as a lot of people have shut down their big hotels and get into a short properties. So, what's your thought on that?
Well, we're all scared of COVID. We won't like to see what we've seen in the past. I just wish a lot of health to the whole globe, to all my earth dwellers, and hope we don't see that time again. But yes, it's been tough. Maybe we'll have to curtail a bit of expenses if we want to sail through again, if at all the wave comes back. And I don't think this wave is going to deter a lot of people. I think we've got to live with COVID because there is no final solution in the offering as of now. But the best we can do is stay safe and fight back.
Yeah. So towards going the end of this podcast, I just want to know that what's your thought on having, the new trends, and a lot of people change their whole interior, whole setups of their hotels just because to, serve their customers in a new way. So, like, what's your thought?
So, Nandini, there's a product life cycle for everything. You see, when we were born, there was a certain type of a car that came in. Then you would see that car became a high seller, and then finally there were iterations of that model that came in. And that's exactly what goes into the hotel business also. There is a product life cycle. We try and invest into the property every 3 to 5 years. We change some aspects. We add new furnitures. We add new flavors. We create new spaces. Sometimes demolish a space. Sometimes add more facilities. I think it's an ongoing process. To stay on top of the business, one has to add facilities and things.
And what's your thought on, like, since you touched initially the point that these palaces gives you uh, a feel, an experience. So I want to know what heritage palaces gives you the feel versus the commercial palaces.
Well, in a heritage palace, you can personalize a lot of things. When people say that, okay, we are expensive, we right from the welcome to the arrival experience to the food that we offer is what creates that package. And that package, like I said, gets priced at a certain price point. Uh, Traditionally, when you operate things traditionally, you need a lot of traditional manpower that understands what you're trying to deliver, manpower that can go ahead and take your vision forward. I think that's the whole aspect. So running things traditionally and in a classic way, you need people who understand that classic and are able to get me that kind of manpower, which I can put together and run the movie, like I said.
Thank you, Mr. Sehgal, for giving you a precious time, and I
Pleasure,
hope
Nandini.
my audience
Pleasure.
will
Thank
got a
you.
lot of insights about hotel industry. Thank you.